Nile forces its way through rock. Compressed, violent, alive. Here to the river's mouth in Alexandria, it's still another 6,000 kilometers. Winston Churchill called Uganda the Pearl of Africa after being struck by its extraordinary beauty, fertile land and remarkable diversity of landscapes and wildlife. From the sources of the Nile to the snow-capped Rwenzori Mountains, to him it felt like a distilled version of the entire continent, rich, vibrant and complete. I'm traveling with a group of tourists. This is my return to Uganda after 28 years. Many of today's national parks were inaccessible to tourists in the 1990s. The government in Kampala at the time did not fully control these areas. Tourism begins where danger ends. From Lake Albert, the Nile becomes a route for visitors, for business, for a country learning how to sell its landscape. After years of Idi Amin's rule and civil war, Uganda in the 1990s needed a new narrative. The authorities turned to a safe, positive symbol from the past, transforming an old quote into a modern slogan: Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. The message rested on three promises: extraordinary nature, safety and stability, and Africa in miniature, a rich diversity of ecosystems within a single country. It became the foundation of Uganda's modern tourism strategy. Boat trips on the Nile below Murchison Falls offer a front-row view of one of Africa's most dramatic river landscapes. Boats move slowly upstream toward the base of the falls, passing hippos, crocodiles and elephants along the banks. It's a carefully managed encounter with the wild, where tourism meets the raw force of the river. Murchison Falls National Park is Uganda's largest protected area, where the Nile cuts through savanna and forest before exploding through a narrow gorge. A bridge over the river links the park's northern and southern sectors, turning a natural barrier into a vital route for tourism and conservation. Murchison Falls National Park was first protected in 1926 as a game reserve under British colonial administration and was later designated a national park in 1952. In the 1960s, it became one of East Africa's leading safari destinations, but during Idi Amin's rule and the years of conflict that followed, wildlife populations collapsed and tourism disappeared. Since the 1990s, the park has gradually recovered, with conservation efforts and stability bringing back both wildlife and visitors. Rothschild's giraffes lead the recovery here, with more than 1,500 individuals, one of the largest populations in the world. Elephants number around 1,000 to 1,500, while buffalo reach into the many thousands, often exceeding 10,000. Along the Nile, hippos gather in their thousands, and the park is home to more than 450 species of birds. Lake Nyanambuga lies high in the hills of western Uganda, formed in a volcanic crater and surrounded by lush green landscapes. As we travel through western Uganda, the road climbs to around 2,000 meters above sea level. In the town of Ruwimi, we make a short stop before continuing along the A109 road toward Kasese, a place etched into my African memories. In 1992, I spent 3 days there waiting for the consul of what was then Zaire to return so I could obtain a visa to Congo. It was a very different Uganda back then, where everything looked and even tasted different. In 1992, Uganda had a population of around 17 to 18 million people. Today it has grown to over 45 million, a striking reflection of how rapidly the country has changed demographically within a single generation. In the early 1990s, Uganda had lost its Big Five. Today they are slowly coming back. Uganda is growing at around 6% a year, fast enough to change the landscape, but not fast enough to change everything. In the distance, we catch sight of the vast Lake Albert and stop to pick up new shirts at a roadside shop for tourists. The border with the Democratic Republic of Congo feels like a membrane, with goods constantly flowing across it. Both neighbors benefit from this exchange. In western Uganda, dotted with volcanic crater lakes, not only coffee grows, tea thrives as well. Tea was introduced here by the British in the early 20th century and over time became one of Uganda's key export crops. It is largely produced for export, supplying international markets in Europe and the Middle East. Tea in Uganda is grown mainly from the hardy Assam variety, well suited to the country's highlands and tropical climate. The industry employs tens of thousands of people and remains a quiet but vital part of the economy. Ugandan tea is exported mainly to Pakistan, Egypt, Sudan, the United Kingdom, and other Middle Eastern markets where it is widely used in blends. It is rarely sold under Ugandan brands. Instead, it appears in global products as part of blends from companies like Lipton or Tetley, often without consumers knowing its origin. Our route leads us to the shores of Lake Bunyonyi, set among steep terraced hills and dotted with dozens of small islands. Unlike many lakes in the region, it is free of crocodiles and hippos, making it one of the few places where people can safely swim. At an altitude of around 1,900 meters, it remains relatively cool here throughout the year. Some of the islands are owned by private investors. It is a densely populated region where land is divided into small plots and life revolves around farming and increasingly tourism. In the area around Lake Bunyonyi, at an elevation of around 6,500 feet, we pass numerous small quarries where stone is extracted and broken without the use of any machinery. The strongest men drive pickaxes into solid rock, while women break the stones into smaller pieces. There are deposits of granite, metamorphic rocks and marble, as well as gravel and river sand. The work is hard and the pay is meager, often not exceeding the equivalent of $3 a day. Even so, these small manual quarries still supply thousands of tons of aggregate to the market each year. The altitude brings cooler air, misty mornings, and a sense of quiet distance from the lowlands. It is a place where cultivated land and wild nature exist side by side, constantly shaping the rhythm of life. We move toward the Bwindi forest at a pace set by the mountain roads. Our experienced drivers calmly navigate one roadblock after another. On the edge of the Bwindi forest, groups of pygmies live here, resettled from the national park about 30 years ago. They have not adapted to the new way of life. Today they live modestly on aid from charities and tourists, on the margins of Bantu settlements. They have lost their culture, their way of life and their identity. When Bwindi Impenetrable Forest was designated a national park in the 1990s to support tourism focused on mountain gorillas, the Batwa, often referred to as pygmies, were displaced from their ancestral lands without formal compensation. Observing Uganda's demographic explosion, it is hard not to conclude that the presence of mountain gorillas has helped save the Bwindi forest. Without the national park and tourism, farmland would likely have long since replaced this unique ecosystem that has endured for thousands of years. Around Bwindi, dozens of lodges have emerged, a quiet industry built around a single attraction, the mountain gorillas. Only around 40,000 people a year are allowed into Bwindi, a carefully controlled encounter with one of the rarest animals on Earth. Our route continues south toward Rwanda. Along the way, we stop only for lunch in Kisoro. Yellow jerry cans once used for cooking oil produced in Rwanda circulate widely across the border in Uganda. Collected, cleaned and resold, they are reused for water, fuel and small-scale trade. Nothing goes to waste. Even a discarded container becomes part of the local economy.
Oh, very handsome. Asante sana.
After crossing the border, the landscape changes dramatically. Rwanda feels different. Slender eucalyptus trees line both sides of the road, introduced here during the era of German colonial rule, signaling a sense of order and deliberate spatial planning. Musanze is the main gateway to Rwanda's Volcanoes National Park, set against the dramatic backdrop of the Virunga Mountains. The city is known for its clean streets, orderly layout, and growing tourism infrastructure linked to gorilla trekking. It feels calm and structured, reflecting Rwanda's emphasis on control, planning, and rapid development. In Musanze, everyday life reflects a blend of growing tourism and modest local incomes. Many residents work in small businesses, services or agriculture, often earning just a few dollars a day despite the city's role as a gateway to high-end gorilla tourism. There is visible development and order, yet for most people, life remains simple and economically constrained. French as a language of communication with foreigners stopped dominating the city many years ago, having been replaced in schools by English. It reflects a deliberate policy of reorienting the entire economy toward East Africa. We spend 2 nights in the city center, our main goal being the monkeys living in the bamboo forests on the slopes of the volcanoes. Rwanda is the most densely populated country in Africa, with about 550 people living on every square kilometer. Potato fields almost touch the bamboo groves where golden monkeys live. Golden monkeys, known scientifically as Cercopithecus canti, inhabit the mist-covered volcanic slopes of Volcanoes National Park, where dense bamboo forests provide both shelter and a steady source of food. Their vivid golden-orange fur stands out against the deep green vegetation, making them among the most visually striking primates in Central Africa. Highly social and energetic, they live on average around 20 years, moving in lively groups as they forage through the dense bamboo thickets that cling to the slopes of the Virunga volcanoes. We end our journey through western Uganda, in Rwanda's capital, Kigali. Kigali, with its orderly streets, is an impressive city that deserves a story of its own.